Hello, good afternoon. You're welcome to James Repository. Today I've come to share with you guys how I was able to score 315 in my Jamb examination and how I was able to gain admission to study medicine and surgery in my school, Federal University, Wukari in Taraba State. It's clear that for you to get admission successfully into your dream course in Nigeria, you should be able to display proficiency and efficiency in the JAMB examination by scoring high, and which will make your admission journey simplified and very, very easy. So that is why it's very important you have to get the secret to scoring high, because it's scoring high that will simplify your stress of admission. You won't even have any stress in getting the admission because it's certain and sure, guaranteed. If you can get that great score that people will be like, wow, how were you able to do it? How did you do it? And then you of course tell them all that it involves, which I'm about to tell you guys how I was able to do mine, the processes I engage myself in, the strategies I applied, and all of the tactics I was able to engage myself in that made my ability to score 315 possible. It's not actually difficult to score 300 and above in JAM. It's not difficult, but what it takes is sacrifice and discipline. And so today I'm here to help you guys know the sacrifice you need to get yourself involved in so as to make it simple for you to score 300 and above. Now, before I get into that, please, if you've not subscribed to this channel, James Repository, please, you have to click the subscribe button now, the subscription button now, so you'll be able to get more of the video on academic empowerment and your dream empowerment here in James Repository. So please, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please, I beg you, click the subscription button now as we get into those secrets you need to know, which I applied that gave me 315 in my JAMB examination. Now, the first thing you have to know is that you have to believe in yourself for you to be able to score high in your JAMB exam. Yes, in fact, not only in JAM, in every examination you're going to write in your life, the preliminary to success is a belief in yourself. You know, many people believe that it's impossible to successfully score 300 and above in JAM, except you are a superhuman, except you are naturally endowed with a high intelligence quotient. That's some people believe, but that's not true. Everybody can score 315, but the different 315, everybody can score 300, everybody can score 340, anybody can score that. But the difference between the person who actually scored that and you who did not score up to 300 is a belief in yourself, a belief in yourself. Those people were able to tell themselves that, of course, I can do it. What's there? I remember then I told myself definitely that I must score nothing less than 315. That was my goal. And there was that belief. There was no doubt of that possibility in my life. I believed that with all belief. Whatever it takes to believe, I had that conviction in me. And that kept me going. So for you to be able to score 300 and above in this year's JAM, you must have to adopt that sense of belief and tell yourself that you're not a failure, and then get yourself in that mood of a successful personality. And that is the beginning of your journey to scoring that 300 and above JAM score you are anticipating to score. And then the next thing you have to do is to have a target. Yes, it's not enough to believe in yourself. Believing in yourself is the beginning of the journey to scoring high in your JAM score. But you must have a feasible target. You have to set a target for yourself. The target I mean is you have to be specific of the JAM score you want. Yes, if you want to score 300, be specific with it. Write it down in a plain sheet and then keep it where it will be visible for you to see, as it will serve as a memorandum, to serve as a reminder, it will serve as a means of reminding you the commitment you've given yourself to. I actually did that during my own preparation. I told you guys initially, what I did was I told myself I'm scoring nothing less than 315. That was a clear goal I had in mind. And what I did was I bought a paper, I tore out a sheet of paper, and then I wrote nothing less than 315 boldly with a red marker. And then I pasted that in front of my reading table right in my room, and then it was there firmly fixed. Every day if I wake up in the morning to read, I see that nothing less than 315. If I wake up in the night to read, it's there clear. So that kept ringing in my brain. Even when I leave my room to any other places, I'll go, that is already fixed in my brain that I've committed myself to scoring 315 and nothing less than that. So you must have a target. The reason why you have to have a target is success is actually relative. Yes, the score that will be regarded as a successful score by someone else may not be a successful score to you. So you have to be, of course, decisive to have a fixed score for yourself. Someone may be, of course, praying to have 250, but you, depending on what you want to study, the course of your choice, 250 may not be able to get you to study that. If you are the student who want to study medicine, if you are having the same targeted score of 250 with someone who is studying, who is about to study, let me say English and literary studies, it will not work. So you have to be specific. Write down your score. Have that target. If you want to score 300, write it down. Paste it in front of where you can easily see it, and then of course every day to keep ringing in your heart that you are a 300 and above candidate, of course, and your actions and inactions will be channeled towards that. Now the next thing you have to know, which I did, was getting into action. You have to get into action. That is what will make your goals, your targets, and your belief in yourself a reality. You have to get into action. Now actions you're going to get into, I segmented it into two. There's the one I call rudimentary action, and there's the one I call the main action. Now, in the rudimentary action, those are the basic actions, the most fundamental ones you have to engage yourself in so as to make your score anticipation a reality. There are things you have to do. The first thing is that you must have to buy textbooks. That's very indispensable. And then you must have to buy past questions. You have to get past questions. If you are the type that like reading hard copy, go and get the hard copies past questions. But for me, while I was practicing for my Jamb, I had Jamb past questions, the hard copies, but I majorly engaged myself with the software past questions because I had a system, so I downloaded my school CBT app into my system, and then that was what I of course always used for my Jamb CBT, except when there's no light, I will renegade to using the hard copies past question. So, but the reason why I am more focused on the Jamb CBT, my school app CBT, it's because it gave me a simulation of the main Jamb examination. It's CBT, and the way it's organized right in there is the same way Jamb organizes it in their own. So it will give you a simulation of the exam you're about to write, and it will familiarize you with the computer environment, the computer software. It will get you familiarized so that by the time you get to the main exam, it will not be difficult for you again. So that's what you have to do. If you have the access to get my school CBT downloaded in your phone, try and download it because it will help you better. But if you don't have the access to get my school CBT, buy past questions of all the subjects you are taking. Make sure you have all the past questions complete. And then the next thing I want you to do is to get a fresh notes for all of the subjects you'll be taking in the Jamb. If you're taking, all of us, definitely you are taking 4 Jamb subjects, you have to buy 4 notes for those subjects. Each of them must have their own specific notes. I'm going to tell you what you're going to do with those notes as I get into the main action. The next stage of action is your main action, which is where lies your success. Here is the action that you have to involve in to make all of the preliminaries activities you've engaged in a success. The main action is actually having a reading plan. He that fails to plan actually plans to fail. You must have a standard rigid reading plan. I said rigid because you're not going to be fluctuating around it. It must have to be a rigid, feasible reading plan. Why did I say that? Many people I know who are brilliant, even more than me, right in my class, they are all good, but they fail to have an effective and rigid reading plan. What they were doing then was random selection of topic in their textbook, and then random selection of years to practice in the past question, and that limited them because they were not able to get the full coverage of all the concepts they need to smash Jamb. So you have to have a standard rigid plan that will take you through all of the past questions in Jamb respectively. You must have to endeavor to commit yourself to finishing all the past questions in all your respective subjects. The reason is because Jamb, I think these days, are committed to repeating questions from their past questions. I think the syllabus of Jamb, they've exhausted their syllabus in all of the questions they've been setting from the outset of Jamb emergence in Nigeria. All of those questions there already covered all of the topic in Jamb syllabus. So what they do is to randomly select questions from all of the respective years in the past question and then compile them for every specific years Jamb is going to be written. So they may pick a question from 1978, pick a question from 1988, pick a question from 1990, pick a question from 1985, pick a question from 2001, question from 2000. That's how they do random selection, and will compile it to make up the Jamb question for, let's say, 2020 Jamb examination or 2023 Jamb examination. So for you to be able to score high in Jamb, you must have committed yourself to effectively studying all the Jamb past questions of your respective subject without exclusion. So if you are going in for a science related courses, like let me assume you're going in for medicine and surgery like I went for, you have to be, of course, get your chemistry, get your physics past questions, get your English past questions, and your biology past questions. And like I told you earlier in the rudimentary action, you get notes for all of them. How are you going to do that? For me, the way I did mine was I endeavored to solve 2 past questions, 2 years of the past questions I bought from all of the respective subjects every day. So what I did was I told myself I'm going to be solving at least 8 total of 8 past questions every day. So I'll solve 2 in chemistry, solve 2 in biology, solve 2 in English, and solve 2 in physics. That's what I did. Now, how did I do that? If I start with chemistry past question study, my textbook must be by my side. I never studied any of my past question and my separate from the time I study my textbook. That's one thing I want you to understand. That's what I want you to do if you want to score high. Get your textbook by your side and get your past question by your side. Don't study past question alone and don't study textbook alone. Both of them must be simultaneously studied. Of course, as you study this must be by your side. So what I did was, if I'm doing chemistry past question review, let me say I started from 1986. Yes, and I start from number 1. Now, what I would do is I will start from the first question, and then I'll be solving. If I get across a very difficult concept that I don't know, I will reference it to the textbook. I'll try to open the page of the textbook where that concept is and read it up. And then after reading it up, and I will go to the next question. And then I'll solve if I'm true. And if I meet another difficult concept, I'll go back to the textbook and reference it. And you know one thing, by the time you start doing it this way, the past question you are solving will take you through the entire textbook within the 15 minutes or within the 40 minutes you are going through a particular year. So it is essential you practice your Jamb examination with your textbook and with your past question. Both of them should go together. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That's the secret to scoring high. Because if you do 2 past questions in chemistry, you would have been able to complete, let me say, all the concepts in your chemistry textbook. If you don't, that's what you should know now, and get ready to start doing it from now. And the same thing you're going to do in physics, the same thing you're going to do in chemistry, in English. If you study English, get your chemistry English textbook closer to you. The English textbook I actually used that helped me very well was Invisible Teacher. In fact, that English textbook was a wow. It gave me a very high Jamb score in my English. So it really helped me. If you can get Invisible Teacher by Dele Ashade, you will really enjoy that. And then for physics textbook, you can get PNOKK, you can get advanced PNOKK physics. There are some other good textbooks that I will still tell you in my next video. And then for chemistry, I used Understanding Chemistry by Godwin O. Ojokuku. Yes, and then for biology, there are multiple biology textbooks you can get for yourself. But make sure you are rigid in studying your past questions. Don't study past question alone, and don't study textbook alone. And then the reason why your note will be there is if you meet, what I did was, any of the past question I'm studying, if I meet a difficult concept, I will write it down specially in my notes and then write the solution, so that by the time I will finish the past question, that concept that was difficult, I have written it down in my note. I don't need to go back to the past question again. So by the time I'll be going to the examination, what I need to do is to get my notes and then revise those difficult concepts, because those are the ones that proved difficult and very cantankerous. So I don't have to waste my time to study other ones that are simple again. I will just make a quick revision of those difficult concepts and then go to examination and smash and come out with the high belief that I already scored high. So those are the things you have to do in your reading plans. You must be specific and you must be rigid in going through your past question and your textbook. Do that simultaneously, and as you do that, I'm telling you, you are halfway. You are not even halfway, you are full into scoring that great Jamb score you anticipate for yourself. And then the last factor is the God factor. This is very important, because most people don't believe that there's a supernatural power that can help them. That it works, yes, but the problem is that most people only do believe in their own hard work, but they never believe that God can still help them. God helps. I'm telling you, you have to commit yourself to God. Even the scripture told us in the book of Proverbs 16 verse 3 that you have to commit your thoughts into the hand of the Lord, and He will establish your plan. That score you want to score in your Jamb, tell it to God. Every day if you wake up in the morning, tell God, this is my plan. This is my Jamb anticipating score. Help me to score this. If you keep praying and telling God every day of your life, every day of your preparation, I'm telling you, that score will never fail to be yours. It happened to me. I wrote my Jamb score. I told you already in my reading table in front. And if I wake up in the morning before reading, I pray and tell God my score will be nothing less than 350. And when I wrote the Jamb, when the result came out, I saw 315 at a dot, nothing less, nothing above. And that's to tell you the power of prayer. So you have to pray always. Tell God your plan for your Jamb and be serious with your prayer. And I tell you, definitely you're going to make it to that top you're desired to be. So are you aspiring to be a medicine and surgery student? Are you aspiring to study law? Are you aspiring to study engineering or agriculture? If you can practice these things I've told you, which I practice, you will definitely even score more than I did. Okay, so I'm hoping to hear your score as you're going to listen to this video and write your Jamb. I'm hoping to hear your 300 and above score as a testimony, and definitely I know you will score high. There's no doubt. You have to believe and practice these things, and of course your 300 and above will certainly be yours. So thank you for listening. Before you leave, please make sure you click the subscription button, for this channel cannot grow and cannot become what it's expecting to be if you don't support through your subscription. Okay, please try and subscribe so that you can get more of this video on how to build yourself in your academic pursuit and how to become your better self. So thank you very much. I remain James Chukwuebuka Obochi, your anchor here in James Repository. I'm a medicine and surgery student of Federal University, Wukari. So I am actually a testimony, and that is why I am giving you the testimony. And this testimony I've given you, if you can practice them, I'm telling you, you will be able to tell others your testimony of how you scored high in your own Jamb score, your own Jamb preparation time. So thank you very much for watching. See you next time in the next video. Thank you.